So what I do is I just search the internet for clips that the mainstream media doesn't want you to see, the clips that they try to hide from you because they want to manipulate how you think, and I show them to you, along with some other clips that I just think are interesting, and I hope you find them interesting too. So let's have a look.
How old is this person who's eligible to vote here inside the United States, inside the state of California?
126 based on the Secretary of State.
And this is Doris.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna see if Doris is home. Are you Doris?
She's right here.
Yes.
Hello, Doris.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
We're just going through the voting rolls here, and we're just confirming anybody who's above the age of 100 years old. And right here it says you're 126 years old.
No, you got the wrong house.
That's a lie.
Are you Doris Wood?
Yeah, but you got the wrong house. I'm Doris, but you got the wrong place. That's the wrong information. All that stuff. No, that's wrong.
Oh, here, I can show you if you like.
No, It's just that it's wrong.
How come you think here in California they're just messing up on all these voting rolls here?
I don't know, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it says you voted in 51 elections, Doris.
No, not me.
Really?
I'm not no 100-something years old.
I know.
I said I wasn't.
I just want to make sure you're not 126 years old.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it really does say you're 126 years old here.
No.
Says-
Who did this? You be 120.
They're exposing so much voter fraud over there in California that the Democrats are doing, and again, the media is not showing you this. The media isn't showing you these videos. There's other videos which I think I have coming up in the next, or there's other clips coming up in the next video, where they interview people who said they forged signatures on ballots of other people. There's interviews with homeless people on Skid Row who said that they were paid $2, $3, $4, $5 to fill out ballots for other people. So much fraud, it's all being exposed.
That don't even make sense.
I know, that's what the Secretary of State says.
Well, the Secretary of State is wrong.
Okay, well.
Put it like this, I was born in 1940, so you figure that out.
All right, Doris. You have a good evening.
So these are all clips of Washington, D.C., how much Donald Trump has cleaned it up. There's fountains flowing that haven't flowed for 30 years. He's cleaning up all the different monuments and statues that just had disgusting graffiti all over them, and like homeless people just, he's sleeping on them and stuff like that. And he's cleaned up the whole city. If I remember correctly, I think violent crime in the city is down 30%, which is a big number. Usually violent crimes in cities usually fluctuate up and down 5%, 10% at the most. To have it drop 30% is amazing. And of course, the people on the left don't like that, because for some reason they like filth. They like destruction of cities. And of course, the media isn't showing you this.
Stop with your green scam. You are lying to the people. Nobody is saving the planet here. While you are banning normal cars with combustion engines for ordinary citizens of the European Union and making their lives more expensive with new taxes and emission permits, even for the households, some overpopulated countries somewhere in Asia like India or Malaysia are filling the oceans with endless amounts of plastic waste every day. The only things you care about is how to gain more control over the people's lives, is how to gain more power, and of course, how to make more money. You are enriching yourselves at the expense of taxpayers' hard work and selling them fake idea about saving the planet. But majority of people in the European Union, they do not want to get rid of the fossil fuels. They do not want to pay for your social and ideological experiments. And that's why the only real conclusion of any climate conference should be that there will be no climate conferences in the future until the EU officials will not come to the common sense.
The left loves talking about tragedy. Let's talk about it. I mean, you love talking about the 5-year-old who got kidnapped by ICE when it turns out the father actually abandoned him. You love kids so much? Yeah, let's talk about them. Did you see this girl on the front page of your news this morning? No? Oh, yeah, she died because an illegal alien collided his car into theirs head-on. 5 people were airlifted to hospitals, 3 more by ambulance, and she's dead.
That's actually happening quite a bit where immigrants are being given driver's licenses and they can't speak English, they can't read the road signs, and it's causing accidents. They were giving out CDL licenses for them to drive the 18-wheeler, the big rig 18-wheelers, and they were causing accidents, running into people, killing people. The media doesn't tell you about that. About a month ago, I had to go to my local registry of motor vehicles to have my driver's license renewed, and I was there, and there were people there who didn't speak English, and they were there with translators. And the translator was telling them, what to fill out. The translator was speaking with the employee so that this person could get their driver's license. They can't even speak English. They can't read the road signs. But of course, I live in a Democrat-run state, so they want to give these people driver's licenses and give them IDs so that they can vote. That's really all it is. But they're out there. Unfortunately, in this person's case, they're killing people. I've personally seen it myself where there's a lot of people driving very poorly. I've seen people driving down the wrong side of the road, going, in exits, like going into a parking lot, but they're going in through the exit. And every time I look over, it's a certain type of person.
This man had prior DUI arrest in 2020 and 21, and also a hit and run. Yet these are the people the left wants to protect. Let's keep going. How about Katie Steinle? Didn't see her on CNN? She was walking in California on a pier with her father and she was shot and killed by an illegal immigrant. Only 32 years old. But apparently her story wasn't important enough to make it to the headlines. Here's another horrific case. A criminal illegal alien who re-entered the US 3 times since 2021 murdered a 15-year-old boy as he was attempting to get the man off of his mother because he was trying to her. And he assaulted a minor female with a firearm. The boy died trying to save his mother. Then there's Katie Abraham in Illinois, killed by an illegal alien drunk driver. Or Fletcher Harris and Skylar Provenza in North Carolina, murdered by an undocumented illegal alien. All preventable deaths. All victims of people who shouldn't have been here in the first place. Now don't get me wrong, what happened to Alex Preddy was tragic. But notice how you didn't see any of these other horrors unfold. If you're going to have empathy for one, then you need to have empathy for all. Yet here we are, selective empathy at its finest. These are the people you're telling us to protect when you say you want to abolish ICE. These are the same people you excuse when protesters obstruct law enforcement. These are the people you vouch for? Really? Wow, seems like children and women only matter when it fits your narrative.
Abortion pill is safe. Yet every single time an abortion pill is taken, an innocent baby's life is brutally ended. You know what? The abortion pill is so safe that 1 in 9 women get an infection, hemorrhage, have an incomplete abortion, or experience another life-threatening event after taking the abortion pills. Does that sound safe to you? It doesn't sound safe to me. And you know why it doesn't sound safe? Because the abortion pill is not safe. These are real lives that are lost, real children who are killed, and real women who are harmed. This pill is deadly and needs to be banned.
Pretty cool.
Hey, you want to know something I bet you didn't know? This is the 12th junkyard in 6 weeks to mysteriously burn everything in. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were about to take off all of the older vehicles that are on the roads, and you didn't want anybody to find parts, if you were about to say, you know what, we don't want all these older vehicles on our roads anymore. We're going to put new mandates. We're going to make you buy cars with sensors. We're going to do all this stuff. But how do we stop people from continuing to keep their old cars? Maybe burn all the junkyards? No, that couldn't be it, right? Like, that's just too smart a thinking, right? That's conspiracy thinking, right? This is just an accident, right? No coincidences, right?
There will come a day in the not-so-distant future where MAGA Republicans or former MAGA Republicans will not be able to live in peace in this country anymore. Not exactly sure what that's going to look like, but I know for certain that you're either going to have to leave this country or completely hide any evidence that you ever supported Donald Trump in order to...
Really. And who's going to make us? You? You and your potato-shaped body? You're going to make us? Please, come on.
to just walk out of your house.
Look, lady, when you guys elected Biden, you didn't hear any rhetoric like that from us. Threats and all that. What kind of American are you? You're not American. Your voter intimidation is not going to intimidate me. I am.
What do you guys think? Are you scared of her? Are you scared of a middle-aged woman with graying in her hair, body shaped like a potato? Right? Are you intimidated by her? I know I sure right. And all the soy boys that she hangs out with.
I'm always going to vote Republican.
It feels so good to not be a Democrat. I blind voted every election, starting with Obama. I voted not even knowing what I was voting for. When Obama became president, I didn't see no difference in the black community. And now I see why. I see what he stood for. It just feels so good that this year, well, last year, for election time, instead of running to them polls, because that's where my family and so-called friends was running, I said, let me do some research. Let me see what I'm about to go vote for as a grown woman. And once I did my research and looked into this, Harris was the last person I would have casted my vote for. She denounced God in front of an audience. She wanted the twisted things being pushed into schools. Something that I would never stand for a day in my life. These Democrats should be ashamed of themselves. But I know many is not. Because most of them stand for nothing and fall for anything.
You know, and she kind of mentioned it too at the beginning. There's so many people who don't really pay attention to politics. They don't really pay attention to what's going on, but they'll still vote, right? And they'll basically vote they'll vote Democrat just because they've always voted Democrat. Their family's always voted Democrat. Their mother, their father, their grandparents always voted Democrat. So they go and vote Democrat, and they really don't even understand why they're voting Democrat. You know, they still think it's the same Democrat Party from the 90s and the 80s and the 70s and all that, which it's not. It's not the same party at all. But it's almost like an addiction. People get addicted to voting for the same party over and over and over again, where, you know, I'll talk to people and I'll tell them, you know, certain things like we see here, and they'll just kind of shrug their shoulders and be like, yeah, I'm still going to vote Democrat. It's like, why are you going to vote Democrat when they lie to you? They say they're the ones saving democracy, but then they prove that they're the ones committing the frauds. You know, they say they don't want dictatorships, yet they're the ones who appointed their presidential candidate, and they just shrug their shoulders and they just do, yeah, I always vote Democrat though. It's like, people really need to pay more attention, you know.
What changed? Nobody knows. Rate per hundreds of thousands. In 2008, it was 36 per 100,000, and now it's 107. It's gone up by 221%. That's crazy.
What? What's the worst thing about Charlie Kirk?
So this video was in a previous, or this clip was in a previous video of mine, but it was only a partial clip. This is the full clip, and it's pretty good.
Who the fuck
is that?
He's who the protest is about. You don't know?
It's about the idiots. Turning Point.
Yeah, leader of Turning Point. Charlie Kirk?
Turning Point's about Trump.
Wait, turn this around. What does this say?
They don't even know what they're out protesting. They don't know who they're protesting, what they're protesting. They're just so brainwashed and manipulated. They're told to show up at some place. They'll hand you a sign and, they brainwash. Just say you hate the orange man, and they don't even know. And I've talked about in previous videos, it's a cult. They brainwash, especially the most vulnerable in our society, which are the elderly and the children. And just here's another example of it.
Turning Point. Actually, you read it.
You read.
And he didn't even spell turning point correctly.
You know how to read?
Are you allowed to ask people that? What if I don't
know English? You're speaking English. Oh.
But I can't read it.
Thank you so much, Alice.
Go away, dumb.
So you're here protesting something and you don't even know what it is.
I know who they have speaking there. He's nobody. He's nobody. They have Hegseth speaking there. You know who Hegseth is?
I do.
So Charlie Kirk is nothing.
Oh. So you like Pete Hegseth more than Charlie?
I don't like Hegseth, moron.
I don't appreciate these names you're calling me.
I don't give a shit, asshole.
Wow. Is that how you talk to a black woman? Is it because I'm black?
No, because you're a stupid.
Again, when you can't defend your ideology, all you do is throw insults. That's all you can do. When you can't actually talk and explain, your point, all you can do is just hurl insults.
Immigrants you want to come into this country illegally, most of them don't speak English. Are they dumb?
No.
The logic is not logicking. It's not even a word, but I just made it a word. You are a lovely person.
You're a stupid person.
Clearly environmentally devastating.
Like the song says.
How much time did you spend making this?
Energy sector.
How many times a day do you think about Donald Trump?
Peace and foreign policy, national climate efforts.
He's counting in his head.
And cooperation with other countries.
I'm going to throw a number out there and say 15,000.
Shared global challenge.
Think about your school years. What were you actually trained to do? You were trained to sit still for 8 hours. You were trained to memorize instructions. You were trained to raise your hand to ask for permission to speak or even to go to the bathroom. You were trained to fear failure. And above all, you were trained to complete tasks given to you by a superior authority. These are not the skills of an owner. These are the skills of a compliant worker. The school system was designed in the Prussian era to produce soldiers and factory workers. It was never designed to produce capitalists.
So you notice he said the school system was designed in the Depression era. I saw a video a few months back of a person who had a school book from the pre-Depression era, and it was totally different from the school books that they had, post-Depression era. And it was exactly what he was saying. Pre-Depression, they taught you how to be an entrepreneur. They taught you, if you were a farmer, they taught you how to farm. They taught you what to do with old inventory before it goes bad. They actually taught you things that you could use in life and that would make, you could make money with. Now, like he said, they just teach you how to be a compliant worker.
Talk about Epstein's Island? You want to talk about all the little girls who were extorted and
evil.
fucked?
Yeah.
That was
Then why
illegal.
would you say
Why would you
date?
say date rapists? You fucking
No,
piece of shit.
no, hang on. No, I'm not saying.
Date rapists love abortion.
Yes.
It says date rapists. You do not date rapists.
No. Hang on.
No, I don't care what you're
Basic
trying
grammar.
to.
Adjective. This is so you've got.
The only
You've got subject.
punctuation is this period.
Yes.
The only punctuation.
That's by design.
Is this period.
So this is an adjective.
No,
Date,
you need a fucking comma then.
This is perfect because they're misunderstanding the sign. They're misreading it. And they're just so arrogant that they won't shut their mouths for 2 seconds to let him explain their mistake. It's so typical of the left, isn't it? They just won't shut their mouths for 2 seconds and listen so that they could actually learn something. Instead, they just keep yelling and yelling and yelling, and this just keeps going on.
The only
No,
punctuation
because-
is this period. Do
because-
you not realize that that's not proper
No.
grammar?
No, it is.
No,
I'm
it's
not
not.
saying.
No, it's
I'm not
not.
saying you should date rapists. It's
It
saying
literally says date rapists, love
Shut up.
abortion.
No.
So if you
A-
love
Let him
abortion,
explain.
you should date a rapist, right?
no.
That's what you're
a date
insinuating right
rapist.
there. No. Put A on it. Yeah, put
Like-
a comma.
You
Put
have
actual
to-
punctuation.
No. That's not how English works.
No, you can't come back from this.
You can't come back from that.
There's genuinely no coming back from this.
This is
This is why Donald Trump wants to get rid of the education system that we have and redo the whole thing.
What? No, you are.
This is surreal. No, date rapist. So
Let's break it down. Let's break it down.
where should the comment?
For real.
All right.
Comma should be right here.
So, okay, so
real.
but that would change it to date rapists, love abortion.
Love abortion. You're
Yeah.
saying that if you love abortion, you should date rapists.
That's what this
That's
says
what
right here.
that
What
says
it's
right
saying.
there. There is no comma. The only punctuation
Have you graduated high school?
In 2013, a satellite that had been dead for nearly 50 years suddenly sent a signal back to Earth. In 1967, the US launched a satellite called LES-1 to study radio communications. Not long after launch, it failed. It lost power, stopped responding, and was written off as space junk, just another dead object orbiting Earth. For decades, it did nothing. Then in 2013, amateur radio operators picked up something strange. A signal coming from the exact frequency LES-1 used. After tracking it, they confirmed the source, the same satellite that had been dead since the 1960s, was transmitting again. Scientists believe decades of temperature changes may have briefly restored its electronics. But here's what makes it eerie. The signal wasn't stable. It would turn on, then off, like something was trying to wake up. After a short time, it went silent again. And to this day, no one expected it to come back at all.
All right, that's all I got for you today. As always, head down to the comment section. You leave any of your thoughts and opinions on anything that we saw today, and thank you for watching.